And so good morning, my dear ones. Here we are all together again today. How wonderful that is. It feels very good to me to be back home again. Always that. And yet coming back into this amazing situation of much that is going on, not only in our own land, but in the world. And the recognition that, yes, tempests do rage, storms do come, but in that is the opportunity for all of us to know where we stand in the midst of it. And so I'm knowing that what I'm coming back to in my community, in my spiritual home, is that sense and sensibility that everything happens the way it's supposed to happen, and everything happens for some mysterious reason that we do not understand, and yet, life is unfolding as it must and as it should. But for you and for me today, we're here to ask ourselves the question, where indeed am I in all of this? Who am I in all of this as I am presented with all of this? And that is the question. And it's an important one, and it's a question we get to ask ourselves every day if we would. So I am here to remind us all that it's important for us now to know who and what we are as we move ahead in this process of what is actually rebirthing, in this process of what is life moving forward into the next level of its evolution on this plane. That's what's happening. And like any birthing, it's painful. Like any birthing, it is not pretty at times, most of the time. But the benefit and the outcome and the result of it is awesome and leaves us soon forgetting all that it took to get to the point where we've realized the good in it all. And so you and I are here today to remember that we are the people that we are, that we have come together to be, that we've been called together to be, and we must be it now, not pretend that that's what we are. What do I mean by that? We have to ask ourselves the question, am I a person of faith? Truly, am I a person of faith? Am I a person of deep belief? Do I really have faith, and do I really believe in all of that which I have exposed myself to within this spiritual community since I first entered into it? Or is it still at the level of disembodiment? Is it still at the level of theory? Is it still at the level of hope it's so? Or is it embodied within me sufficiently now that I am rooted in strength and in valor and in courage and in the awareness that good is indeed the result of all of this? Indeed, it's happening already, and more great good will continue long after the tempests have ceased to be. And it will keep unfolding and unfolding and unfolding, and we will be changed as a result of this. And we will be changed for the better. That's what I'm knowing that we are as a spiritual community. Because let me tell each and every one of us, each one sitting in a chair in this room, we are here on purpose. We are here on a mission. We are the vanguard, we are the front line, we are the first responders to any tempest that may arise. You and I jumped up out of our seats and said, when the invitation went out, who will go, who will be, blah, 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 blah. We jumped up and said, I will. We jumped up and volunteered for this, all of it. And we knew when we did that we could come and we could be and we could overcome. And we could succeed in our mission. And that we would succeed in our mission. That's what we knew when we came in here. You see. And so what does that require? It requires masterfulness. You are all masters of life, believe it or not, masters of life, or you wouldn't be sitting in this room. You wouldn't have come, because that's what it takes for us to move through this experience on this plane right now and to complete our mission and go on and be graduated as a result of it into a higher awareness of a greater expression of life. It's an amazing thing when you grasp it, when you get it. And yes, some of us may have come into this room just hanging on, just barely hanging on. Some of us right now may be thinking, oh my God, what is she talking about? If she only knew, my life is such a mess. I'm such a mess. I myself am a mess. How can I expect to help in any way anyone or anything else when this is my condition and situation right now? Yes, I am talking especially to you. You are the master of your life, and you volunteered as this courageous, strong, valiant energy of light to come in now and serve. I am especially addressing you, because as real as your suffering and your sorrow and your sadness and your fear and your anxiety is, as real as that feeling is, it is not your truth. And it comes out of a think. And you can change that think at any time and be free of all of that. Oh, my dear, we are talking about the atmospherics and the climate of mind and consciousness right now. Because every single one of us produces the climate in our minds and in our hearts and in our bodies and in our souls. We are responsible for the climate. And boy, some atmospherics at times going on within ourselves is awesome. Awesome. I can ask myself, and you can ask yourself, what was the climate of my mind when I walked in here today? What was going on? Was there storming going on? Was there hurricaning going on? Was there calm and peace going on? What was going on in the climate of me when I walked in here today? Well, whatever it was, it doesn't matter. If it needs adjustment, adjust it now, because the world you came to serve is relying upon you to do so. Relying upon you. You made the commitment when you came in. You certainly are, and I am, stormtroopers of a very different kind. A very different kind. We're the ones that clear up the storms, calm the storms, you see. We're the ones that life depends upon for the conveyance of the energy that is ours, not our energy, the conveyance of the energy that is ours to conduct. The beauty and the grace of it is you don't have to do a darn thing, and neither do I, and thanks be to goodness that's so. None of us do anything. The doer in us does it. Any good that happens is done by the doer within us. We are the window through which it passes, the conduit, the vessel, the channel, whatever you want to call it. But as that, we are the thing itself. We're the portal. Did you know you were a portal? You were a portal. You're the portal. Energy comes in and out of that portal that you are. And the breath is the wonderful example of that. You breathe in that energy. You breathe out that energy. And what you're breathing in is a wholeness and a goodness and a fullness and a completeness and a unifying energy. That's what you're breathing in and breathing out. And if you and I could understand that, the mind would be clear, the body would be sound, the heart would be solid, and you and I would indeed be at the head and at the top of our mission and succeeding with it beautifully, magnificently, amazingly. Yes, everyone in this room I am speaking of and to and from. Yes, everyone, everyone, everyone. No one is what we think we are. No one is what we feel we are. No one is our past history. We are not that. We are that we are. The thing itself. Now, do I believe it or don't I believe it? Because if I do believe it, and if I have faith in it, and if I trust in the creative process of life, I am unconcerned. I am not afraid. I can face into the storm. I can take on the tempest. And I can come through it untouched by it. Expanded as a result of it, increased as a result of it, deeper in calm as a result of it, greater unified as a result of it. And that's your choice, and that is mine. We are here to know, to love, to understand, to be one. We are here to know that we belong to each other. We belong to each other. We're interconnected with each other. There's one life, one mind, one heart, one body, and that life and that one mind and that one heart and that one body is mine now, and it is all there is. So don't look at anyone as a stranger. And then no one will look at you as a stranger. You see, the mirror I look into is what is reflected back to me. And we need awesome mirrors out there at the moment. And so what does that entail? It entails you and it entails me getting into the calm that we desire for the outside world, to create it in here first, to bring the calm, to say, peace, be still right here first. And then we are ready. And all we have to do is be that. You don't even have to step outside of your own home to create the unified, calming energy that smooths it all, comforts it all, eases it all, unifies it all. Don't have to do anything. You simply have to be who you are, that's all. Be who you are, be what you are. Be who you are, be what you are. And that's not what you're thinking about yourself, and it's not what you're feeling about yourself, and it's not your accomplishments, and it's not your failures, and it's none of that. It's none of that. That's all story. That's all a think. That's all a thought, a nonsensical one. So the call goes out to you and to me today to be the strong, to be the valiant, to be the courageous, to be the unified ones, and to be the conveyors of that force and that energy and that light and that presence and that magnificence that shows up. And when it does, everything smooths out, everything unifies, everything is peaceful. So that when you and I happen to be watching the television, addicted maybe to watching the television and listening to the news, before we do that, we must go to the calm, center ourselves in the peace, have stilled the storms within ourselves, so that we, as this equilibrium, as this powerful equilibrium and vortex of peaceful energy, can then look at the television and raise our hands and say, peace, be still. Peace, be still. And you're not raising your hands at all. You are opening the portal, and you're allowing the energy that is the true essence of your being to flood the airwaves and all the waves, seen and unseen, to create a vortex of energy that reaches any tempest and brings it to dissipation and creates instead a vortex of peace. You can do that. You're here to do that. You're commissioned to do that. You are given the ability to do that. But remember, it's not you doing it. All you're doing is opening the portal and allowing what is there to come through. Hands are powerful. And you can feel the energy in your hands. And you can know the energy in your hands. And remember, these are just ways of releasing. The breath will release. You can breathe into something. Life balanced, life even, life calm. You can breathe it into yourself and out from yourself. Now, this is yours to do. This is what you wanted. This is why you're here. And you can consciously now get back into that awareness. And as you consciously get back into that awareness, you will not be so small self-absorbed that you will be still attached to your happens and knots and mess and whatever else you think you are experiencing. It'll be amazing how you will not have your consciousness on that. And when your consciousness is not on it, it cannot keep present in your life. If it's not in your mind, it's not in your life. If it's not in your mind, it's not in your life. So fill your life with thoughts that are unifying, thoughts that are calming, thoughts that are uplifting, thoughts that are affirming the true essence of being. The true essence of being. Isn't it interesting how in the days of wine and roses, in the good times, you know, we are so oblivious to each other. We are so disconnected from each other. We are so ambivalent about each other. We are so unseeing of each other, unhearing of each other. And yet come a crisis, takes a crisis, isn't that a sad state of affairs, to make us wake up and realize how interconnected we all are and how much we belong to each other. And how what's going on in your life affects mine. And if you're hurting, I am too. The day will come when it won't take a crisis for us to be living in that energy and that sense and sensibility. But until that day, we do what it takes to keep ourselves awake and alert. Great good already is in manifestation and demonstration as a result of these tragedies, these terrible things that are happening, these dire circumstances and dreadful challenges for people. So many people. Great good already is happening. And that good is what you and I want to be a participant in. We want to show up and make the difference. And remember, you can do it in your own home. The best way to make the difference is, of course, to be the difference. Not to do, but to be. Be the difference. That means take care of yourself. That means sort yourself out. That means align yourself. That means give yourself what yourself needs in order to be the full force that it is. In order to be the true force that it is. The amazing, magnificent force that it is. And that's what you and I have to be willing to do. And that's what we're going into this new season ready and open to being. And so, my dear ones, we are going to close this particular time together by viewing a little piece that I captured on the television last Sunday. And you'll see yourself in it all on both sides. And you'll be reassured, and you will be uplifted, and you will know that we are coming through and overcoming strongly and valiantly and courageously. And let this be the message for us all, to take heart and to take ourselves up and open the portals and be what we need to be just now. It's a joy and a privilege to be part of the spiritual community, and to be working together as this vortex of powerful life and light and love and beauty and grace. So I would ask now Ben if he would take us into a little meditation here. And let us be uplifted by it.
Has touched hearts all over the country. Donations are approaching $250 million. And we end the week with Steve Hartman's thoughts about the spirit of America.
This week, we saw what trillions of gallons of water can cover. But more importantly, we saw what it can uncover, our potential as a nation. I know it seems like eons ago, but remember what was in the news before this? Remember when nothing was more important in America than the fate of a Confederate statue. We were literally at each other's throats over race, religion, immigration, and of course, politics. And then Harvey came and pounded us with perspective. When the roof over your head becomes the floor beneath your feet, no one cares about the color or creed of his rescuer. No one passes judgment because a hero's boat is too big or his means are too meager. No one says, thanks for the rope, but I'd rather wait for someone more like me.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And later, when they find themselves on the business end of a dump truck with nothing but the soggy shirt on their backs, I'm guessing no one ever thinks he's better than the person suffering next to him. A lot of people in Texas and Louisiana lost everything, but they are rich with perspective tonight and blessed with a new and priceless appreciation of their community.
If everyone did this, we'd have a lot less to worry about.
From the start of the storm, the volunteer rescuers were Harvey's silver lining. They risked their lives. Some even lost their lives in service to their neighbors.
Continue helping people. We're going to go save some more lives, help some more people.
This guy spoke for many.
Spirit of Texas, that's what it's all about.
But I do take slight issue with that last part. I think most Americans are heroes, just waiting for their moment. And if Harvey taught us anything, it's to be grateful for every last one of them. Which brings me to this rescue in Houston. These people were trying to save someone from a sinking car.
Go, 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 go!
I don't know who these folks are, but I do know this.
Grab them!
If you took out a Christian, took out a Democrat, an immigrant, a Republican, Muslim, or Jew, remove any link in this brave chain of Americans, the whole group is adrift and a piece of humanity is lost. In this case, the chain held. When Mother Nature is at its worst, human nature is at its best. The challenge will be, as the floodwaters recede, will we still be able to love at these same record levels? Steve Hartman, CBS News, New York.
And so it is. And I know, my dear ones, the answer to that question is, for all of us in this room and more besides, yes, we will still be able to love at this level of connection. So our work is cut out for us, but we're equal to it, we're ready for it, and all is well. Yes? Yes. So are you feeling the strength? Yes. Are you feeling the valor? Yes. Are you feeling the courage? Yes. Do you have the will for it? Yes. Are you ready? Yes. Equal? Yes. Able? Yes. Want it? Yes. Will do it? Yes. Will be it? Yes. So it is. So it is. Give yourselves a round of applause. You're wonderful. Yeah. It's going to be a good week.